You that simply hate Igbo man for no just reason. And you, Igbo person, that hates when you hear the Igbos calling for secession of Nigeria. When you hear the name IPOB, when you hear the name Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or when you see anybody saying that we are not one Nigeria, and you feel hated, you began to blab, began to yarn. Come, watch this video. And after you must have watched this video, you gave me your reason why Igbo should not call for secession. And I will still come back to air my opinion further. Just watch this video.
I'm extremely disappointed at David Umahi. Those are the kinds of statements I don't expect to hear from a senior government official. And, you know, he's a man I tend to respect, you know, because he's a hard-working individual. And, you know, he knows his onions when it comes to engineering and Ministry of Works and roads constructions and things like that. So I have a lot of respect for him. But particularly I felt offended by that statement, because I've said it on this program severally. I detest the dog whistling of an entire ethnic group in Nigeria. And let's call a spade what it is. It's becoming one too many that we want to consistently and continuously scapegoat the Igbo ethnic tribe in Nigeria, and it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable because there is a history of violence targeted at that group since 1953 in our country. Listen, Caesar, a meeting was held in Lagos, not necessarily a meeting, in Parliament. Anthony Nahoro moved a motion for the independence of Nigeria. The North opposed that motion, and at the train station, when they were going back to their constituency, they met a crowd that was essentially mocking them. They got back to the North. Chief Akintola led a tour across the North, you know, to campaign essentially for the independence, to rally the North in support of Nigerian independence. Guess what happened after that? Riots broke out in northern parts of Nigeria, particularly in Kano, where over 240 Igbos were massacred. Were they the ones that demanded for Nigeria to have an independence at that time? In 1966, particularly in May, months before the Civil War happened, thousands of them were massacred across northern cities, and they had to flee to the east for safety because thousands of them were indiscriminately killed for what they knew nothing about, right? So let's not even talk about the Civil War and the hundreds of thousands that were massacred, and the fact that after 1970, this entire ethnic group had to start from the scratch again to begin to build their lives. And Caesar, look at what they have done since 1970. A group that left or started from nothing, went to Bauchi, went to Kano, went to Meduguri, went to Akure, went to Ogun State. And look what they have built in 40 years of hard work, grit, and no support from the federal government. Look what they have done from themselves. But what we consistently and continuously do is to signal hatred and violence against the group. And this thing has to stop. We can't continue a country. Listen, if you don't want a group of people to be a part, let them go then. I don't understand this. Every turn, there has to be an excuse to single out an ethnic group. I give you a typical example. Just like the past elections, I heard people telling, how can the Obi, for instance, have scored 98% in certain states to the north? How can he have scored 90%? Muhammadu Buhari, under a PDP-led federal government, scored over 90% votes in 4 northern states. Go and check the results in Katsina. Go and check the results in Bauchi. Go and check the results in Jigawa. He scored over 90% in those states under the leadership of the PDP as the federal government. So it was okay for Buhari to score over 90% in his own core constituency, but something utterly went wrong when Obi did it in the southeast. This ethnic group have always been part of a nationalist political party and never really have ever built a regional movement. All the times they have supported a political party have been national political parties right from the NCNC.
Yeah, true.
They have a stakeholder in the PDP. They don't have a regional party in the sense that we had ACN in the southwest, in the sense that they had AMPP in the north. They did not have the behemoth of a regional political party. So where is all this hate coming from? Where is all this hate coming from? They tell you now, for instance, that they have a rabid mob who are harassing people on the internet because their candidate lost. We have very short memories. In 2011, a candidate lost in this country and over 800 people were massacred in violence in the north. I so know this because I personally saved 11 core members and were hidden in my father's hotel in Kano. So what are we saying? 800 people were massacred because of the ambition of somebody in this country. And suddenly we are losing our minds because we are saying people are insulting you online and they're a rabid mob. Let us stop this. Let us stop this ethnic dog whistle.
Oh yes, you have heard from this young man. He's a Yoruba. He's not an Igbo son. He's a Yoruba person. See, this is one of the reasons why they abolish history from Nigerian schools. This is one of the major reasons why in Nigerian schools today, you cannot anywhere see history study. But thank God for the modern day technology and for those who were able to have the first-hand information of the past. As you heard from the young man, right from the day when they were rallying for the independence of Nigeria, where they are calling for independence of the country called Nigeria, Igbo man was being butchered. Igbo sons were being brutalized. We are they the ones calling for the unity of Nigeria? Or were they the ones calling for the independence of Nigeria? Was it a crime to call for independence of Nigeria? Then why must it be the Igbo that bear the cost of another person's call? Where must Igbo person be the one that will bear the burden, that will bear the pain of the call to unite Nigeria? Now tell me, since the North did not support the independence of Nigeria, why won't the Igbo now say, okay, since from the start, Igbo were buying us for just no reason, Akintola made the call and Igbo man was killed. Why wouldn't the Igbo man say, hey, I don't belong to this country? If you go through record, see number of times Igbos were being by, were they the reason? What was the offense where they were by? See, it's high time we stop all this propaganda. It's high time we stop all this hypocrisy and do the needful. Buhari lost election. Igbo people